Are you curious about the new e.l.f. releases? The Hydro Camo and the new cream blushes and the new lip liners? Then stay tuned. Happy New Year and happy Monday. Today we are going to talk makeup, and the makeup we're going to talk about is the new e.l.f. releases that released at the very tail end of December. I'm going to try the new e.l.f. Camo Hydrating Foundation. They launched some new liquid blushes, as well as we're going to try out their new $2 lip liner. And I also got a shadow stick to try actually as a, instead of putting concealer or an eye primer on, I thought I would give this shadow stick a try before we put on the eyeshadow for today. So that is all the new e.l.f. stuff we're going to be testing. So a little information about me. I am 54 years old. I have extremely dry skin. I have fine lines and wrinkles around my eyes. I have them around my lips. And I have a lot of freckling. Have had it all my life. And so sometimes I like a full coverage foundation. Sometimes I like just to give them so they're shining through just a little bit. So today we are actually going to talk about all the new e.l.f. releases except for one. I forgot to order the new waterproof eyebrow pencil. So I'm actually going to start with my e.l.f. wax stick to give me some shape, and I'm going to be using the NYX brow. Now, my brows are very 90s thin, so I like to use the wax to give them a shape and then fill them in. So as you can see here, it has just a nice point. So I'm just going to go in and give my eyebrows a little bit of shape. And this just gives a nice lift, and it doesn't prevent me from putting product in it, which is really nice. And I think this thing is like $2. Let me grab a spoolie here out of my brushes just to kind of run it through. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and use the NYX. I believe this is in taupe. I'm sorry, this is in gray because I have helped me fill that in. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill that in real quick. I do like to give myself, this is brand new, so I gotta get a little bit of the wax off here. But I do like to give myself a little bit of shape by drawing a line and then kind of filling it in. I kind of am going back to the 2016 eyebrows. I like a little more of a filled in eyebrow. I really like these NYX eyebrow pencils with the thin tip. They work really, really, really well for me. They're good. They fill in really nicely. Sometimes I'll use a pen to help fill in some of the sparser areas with some lines, but this can actually do a pretty good job of doing that as well. Okay, I'll just use the spoolie here to put these, give them their shape. Okay, my brows are as good as they're going to get. All right. right, so today to put on all of my makeup, I am going to use the new Nikki LaRose Pro brushes from BK Beauty. This was a gift from my husband that I was so excited to see under the tree. He knows how much I love makeup and fashion, and so these are super exciting to have. So we're gonna put on all our makeup with these today. So let's start out with I'm gonna try to use this e.l.f. shadow stick for my eyeshadow base. Now, I don't have an e.l.f. Eyeshadow palette. I do have one ordered from Ulta that hasn't arrived yet, but for now, we're gonna go with another drugstore or affordable makeup brand for this. So I'm gonna use this shadow stick to kind of carve out my eyebrows and then just kind of put this all over the eye. Now this isn't as smooth. You can see it's tugging. It's not as smooth as I had hoped. And this one actually has a little bit of shimmer in it, which that I don't mind. But it definitely is not a smooth application, which when you have mature skin, you want things to kind of just glide on, and this is not, at least my first impression, this is not gliding on very easily. And so not super excited about that. But we will go with it on today. I'm just gonna kind of use my finger. It's not super workable either. I'm guessing that I've really never tried one of their shadow sticks, but this goes on very patchy and not so great, as you can probably see. So a little disappointed in the shadow stick. I kind of was hoping to be able to use this as a shadow base, but I don't think that I'll be able to use that way. So now let's go on to the eyeshadow palette I want to use. It is the ColourPop Cloud 9 palette. It can be a good neutral palette, or it can be glam. And I tend to be a glam girl, so I'm gonna go with a little bit of a bolder look today. So I'm gonna start out with Steal My Thunder, which is kind of this taupey beige color in my crease. And I'm gonna use the Nikki LaRose N13 blender brush to put this in my crease. Let's see, blender brush. And put some on my brush, tap off, and I actually like to run this around. I tend to have I have some real estate up here to work with, so I like to run it above my crease. Now I do have tiny bit of a hooded eye as well as downturned eyes, so I do everything I can to try to lift them up. But I always start, since I have extra real estate up here, this is kind of where I like to focus my, what they would call your crease color. Again, ColourPop is one of my favorite eyeshadow brands. And yeah, this base, I'm so bummed. This shadow stick did not work as a good base. But we're rolling with it anyways. But I have used this eyeshadow palette before and I love it. Like I said, I am a glam girl, and so I do tend to do more bold eye looks. But I also do some neutral things every now and then. But well, that gives us a good base to start. Now I also have my Sigma switch so that I can use this brush again, and it just helps take up all the color of what you were just using. And then let's see, I think I'm gonna go in with this Okay, 54-year-old eyes. Ecstatic, which is this kind of purple color right here in my outer corner and into my crease. And I'm just going to use that same fluffy brush to put that on. So start kind of building up in the corner, the outer V of my eye. And you may notice that I am actually left-handed. And so, now one of the things with ColourPop and their eyeshadow palettes, I've seen a lot of beauty influencers get a little more frustrated that they have so many releases. But that's one of the things that excites me about ColourPop is they're always coming out with new things. I love new things. And I know they have a new palette out. Now for me, I like to stay cooler tone. I don't do a lot of warm makeup. I tend to stay in the cooler tones because of my skin coloring, and I just really like a cooler tone look. But they have a beautiful, really warm palette that's out right now, and I'll try to put it up, a picture of it up there. But they do a lot of new releases, and there's an influencers that really get frustrated by that. But I love their eyeshadows so much it doesn't really bother me. Okay, so now let's decide what we're gonna do over the lid. Well, maybe I'll keep this a little more subtle, and I'm done with the N13 brush. And let's see, actually I'm going to use the N13 brush again here because what else I have is more a smudger brush. And so let's go in, I think I'm going to go in with, again, I don't wear contacts very often because my eyes get so dry, so I'm a glasses girl. So I think I'm going to go into Cloud Watching, which is a lighter silver color. It's this, it does have a little bit of reflect in it to do over the lid. And with this, actually, I'm going to use this with my finger and see how we do. Ooh, wow, that has some punch. I don't think I've used that color yet. Ooh, that has some punch. That is very, very taupey gray color. And it does have a little bit of glitter in there, as you can see. Whew, I wasn't expecting that much payoff. I think I'll go a little lighter. Well, I guess I got to go the same over here as I did right there. So let's see here. Let's get that on. I mean, it's pretty. It packs a punch though. Whew, boy, does it pack a punch. Now, I love me some glitter, and one of my favorite toppers from ColourPop is called Frog. And it is stunning and beautiful, and I love it. And if I'm doing a light makeup day, I'll put that all over the lid and call it a day. So let's see here. Let's see what we're gonna do. I'm gonna deepen up the outer corners again, the outer V. Since that was a little more pigmented than I expected, I want to get that all blended together. So let's get that all blended in. Okay, so I think that's good. I'm gonna probably put another little topper on here, but let's go ahead and just clean up any fallout. Just using a makeup wipe. I like to use the Neutrogena hydrating wipes. That's what I'm using. Okay, so here is the eye look so far. Let's work in getting something on the inner corner, and I'm going to use this smudge brush, which is the Nikki LaRose N12 brush. It's just a smudger brush. It's a little brush. she shows a lot of ways you can use these, but I think I'm going to go in with, oh, jeez. I'm going to go in with this shimmer called Droplets. You can see right there, Droplets. And we're going to use that on the brow bone and in the inner corner. Actually, I'm going to wait on the inner corner, but we'll use this on the brow bone. Ooh, that's pretty. I haven't used this color yet. I've only used pretty much the 2 shades that I use to blend and use on the outer V. I've only used those. So this is actually it's actually very silvery. I thought it looked a little more white in the pan, but it goes on fairly silver, which is interesting. All right. So I'm a little disappointed still that the shadow stick didn't quite work out, but we're gonna stop with the eyes there. We'll go back and do a wing and all that fun stuff. Let me just clean up whatever else needs to be cleaned up. I'm gonna just actually go over it and just make sure that we got everything kind of blended together here. And like I said, I don't mind doing a bold look. So now let's go into put on some concealer. Now I use the e.l.f. color corrector in this light peach color. I really like this color corrector I really like it for my dark circles right here. It does a good job of cleaning up. And I've been testing this. I probably tried this a couple years ago when it first came out. And I remember I wasn't a super huge fan of it, but I was probably using too much. I have since don't use as much concealer as I used to. So I'm giving this another try, and this is the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. So it's the more hydrating one. So let's get this, let's do a little color correcting. I just use a tiny little dots here on the inside of my eye, and then kind of where I have the most discoloration, just a couple little dots right there, and then we'll blend those in. Same on this eye. That's where I have a lot of discoloration. And so then let's go ahead. I like to use my fingers to kind of just press that in. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that here. And this is kind of what I do. I shouldn't say kind of what I do. This is what I do pretty much every day. I am a makeup girly. I wear makeup pretty much every single day. So I really enjoy that. It makes me feel pretty. It's part of what I like about Dress with Purpose is that it is the complete look, and I believe that when you get dressed, it's not only the clothes, but it's the makeup and the hair that put the total package together of dressing or dress with purpose. And so I do that sometimes if I'm running to the grocery store or whatever. You will usually see me with makeup on. So you can see the color correcting that did underneath my eyes. Now we're gonna go ahead and use the Camo Concealer, the hydrating one. And this is in the shade. I don't think this is my exact color, but this is actually in light peach. I do have a more olive undertone skin. I tend to tan very easily. So I'm just gonna put a little bit right in here, and then I'm gonna put a little bit out here in the corners. I'm gonna do the same with this side. Just put a little bit in and a little bit out here. And then I am going to use the Nikki LaRose N16. This looks so cool. It's kind of like a little paw. It's just such a cool looking, and it looks like because of the point, you can just get right in there. And so I'm going to go ahead and just start patting this in. And then doing the same out here. Now, because I have dry skin, everything I have used to prep my skin before I put on my makeup, I will list down in the description box for you. But you can see here how this is going on. Again, I do have fine lines. I don't expect most of my concealers not to be crease proof but I try to not put as much makeup on in the areas that are foundation, concealer on in those areas that I tend to get a lot of wrinkles and a lot of creasing. But it's just the name of the game when you're 54 years old, and I do my best just gonna press that in. I mean, that brush is really soft and nice. So you can see it's kind of a brightening color, kind of a correcting color. Yeah, again, 54-year-old eyes. So we'll go with that. Now we're gonna break into the hydrating camo CC cream. Now the original one I could not use. Now it could have been User Air. It was very thick and I had a hard time getting it to look good. And so I'm hoping that this hydrating version is going to be a little bit more successful for me. And I ordered this in the color Light 205N. I am not the best shade picker online, but we'll try to make this work. So let's see here. I like to use these little plastic makeup trays that you can get on Amazon. This is what I like to put my makeup on. So I'm just gonna put, well, let's get it pumping. There's one. So 1.5 pumps right now. We'll see how that goes. I don't want to put on too much because I don't want it to be cakey and heavy. We're going to go ahead. I know that the Nikki LaRose, what is this? The N17 brush is two-sided. Let's see. One side is for cream and one side is for powder. So it's double-sided, kind of cool. So I'm going to go ahead and put the foundation on with this brush, and I'm going to use this side, which I believe is the cream side. If not, then I'll fix it the next time I put makeup on. Like I said, I just got these brushes, so let's see. I just like to get my brush. I just like to put my brush right in it. I don't usually put it directly on my face. Now, it almost has like that sunscreen scent to it, which is interesting. I'm not sure. Let's see, hold judgment until we get it all on. But it definitely has a sunscreen scent to it, which is fairly interesting. This probably would be a foundation that might be better put on with a sponge. But for the most part, I like to use brushes with my makeup. I have a whole bin over here on my left side that is actually full of tons of brushes. So, I mean, the shade match is not terrible, but it does seem to go on a little streaky. And again, that's probably because I'm kind kind of dragging it rather than pushing it in. So let's go ahead and try to push it in. I mean, it seems to give a decent amount of coverage. I mean, it is really covering a lot of my freckles that I have. And I didn't use any primer with this because I just wanted to see how it kind of went on. So I'm going to do like a half more pump so that I can do some blending down my neck. So it seems like it's a pretty good match for me. And I like to, you know, just kind of get those ears covered. Run it down. Make sure it gets in all the places. All right, well, we'll just, I mean, it seems to kind of be settling into the lines. I mean, again, I do have a lot of wrinkling on my face. But you guys tell me in the comment section what you guys think of how this looks on me. I'm looking like on a 5x mirror, so I can see all the things, but there is the Hydro Concealer, and I will definitely leave the information about how it wears throughout the day I will pin a comment to the top so that you can see how it wore on me during the day. Again, I have extremely dry skin, and this does not feel like the original Camo Concealer did on me. It definitely feels a lot more lightweight and definitely more moisturizing. So I'll be interested to see how this wears. Okay, so now I'm actually gonna use my switch, and I'm gonna just kind of rub off some of this color from the brush that I was just using. And these are meant to be multi-use, multiple, you know, places on your face. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and contour. And I thought I had the e.l.f. Halo Glow concealer, or excuse me, I thought I had the e.l.f. Halo Glow contour color, but I couldn't find it. So I'm just going to go with one of my new favorites, and it is the ColourPop bronzer in, I believe this is Laguna Beach. So I'm just gonna bronze with this really quick. So the great thing about this is it is so creamy and is so easy to blend in. Now, because I want my face to look more lifted, and studying the many makeup artists that I do, they like to put the bronzer higher up on the cheek, not in the hollow, so that it gives you a more lifted look. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna put that there. I'm gonna just do an easy contour down my nose. What I don't like about my nose is my tip and this little area right here. So what I do is I usually run a little bit of contour down there to kind of push that back. And then I run a little bit here to give me a little more of a bridge. And then of course, the place that falls on us older gals first are gels. So I just want to give myself a nice little more cut jawline. This bronzer, this contour is just, it's amazing. So I'm going to go in with that same brush, and we're going to go ahead and blend that out. I mean, you can just see how easily it just blends right into the skin. I mean, I just love it. And then we're gonna go ahead and pat in the cheek. And you can just see it gives a nice, I'm just gonna blend it. Actually, I'm gonna use I'm going to use this, let's see, no, I'll go back to this brush. I believe this was the N16 that I used for concealer. I'm going to go ahead and just clean this off with my Sigma Switch. And then I'm going to go in and just blend out this nose contour. And I just love this. So we're going to go ahead and blend out this. Blend this down to the neck. I like to just bring it up and kind of connect that. Get my ear if I need to. I'm probably going to wear my hair down today. So might not be as important, but one never knows. I know when I get it in my makeup all done, I decide how I want to do my hair. So, all right. So you just see how I've got a contour now. Kind of chisels out my face a little bit, which I just love this product. Okay, so now let's go in. We're going to try one of these e.l.f. New Camo blushes. Now these, I have seen several other influencers test these, and these are so pigmented, like super pigmented. So these, I bet from what they've said, will be a lot like the Juvia's Place. Now these are supposed to be dupes for the Rare Beauty blushes. So these things are probably going to last you a long time. Now, because of the eyes, I think I'm going to go with this one, which I believe is, well, let's just make sure here. This is Berry Well, which is this one. And then we have Coming in Hot Pink for this one. I think we're going to go with Berry Well. So what I'm going to do is obviously take it out. And you can see that it's got this, you can see it has a big doe foot applicator. And this is a really pretty color, a good winter color. So I'm gonna go ahead and put just the teeniest dot on my palette. Like they have said, these are so pigmented. And it reminds me a lot of the Juvia's Place, which are, you can only use about that amount, and it covers both cheeks. And I love those too. So let's see here. I think I'm gonna use, I think I'm gonna just actually use this side of the brush again. I'm gonna wash this off with my switch, and I'm just gonna kind of push this around to get an even, you can see I'm just getting an even, so we can go ahead and put it. I like to start right about there and run that on. Oh, that's a pretty color. Again, I'm trying these for the first time. So these are, you know, obviously my first impressions of these are, ooh, they are very, very pretty. Ooh, I love that wash of color. Now I like to just lightly tap that over the bridge of my nose. And then just whatever's left, just kind of tap it around just to kind of blend it all together. I really like that. It definitely has, it dries down. I can tell, I mean, it's a little tacky right now, so we'll give it a second to dry down. But it's a really beautiful color. Ooh, I really like that. Is the Berry Well color. So pretty. Ooh, I can't wait to use that some more. Super excited about that. Didn't go on very patchy. You know, I have wrinkles, so it's gonna, you know, show. So now I am gonna use the, I believe this is the Rose Quartz highlighter. Now I like highlighter probably isn't the best for my wrinkles, but I like to have a subtle glow on my cheeks. Now, that blush is it's got a satin finish to it, but I just still like to add a little bit. As you can see, I just put a dot on there. I just put a dot, and then I just tap it in with my fingers. And so that just gives a little bit of extra glow to the cheeks. I'm really liking how this is coming together so far. I'm going to go ahead and clean off this brush again. And I'm going to, actually, I'm going to use this brush, which is the N14, and I'm going to just press down my concealer just to make sure I'm getting out any creasing that I possibly can underneath my eyes. And we're going to set underneath my eyes. Now, even with my skin being extra dry, I do like to set my under eyes. So just push that right in. And then I'm going to use the e.l.f. Halo Glow in the color, let's see here. This is light. This is light. So this is what we're going to use underneath my eyes. So I'm just going to take it on the brush, tap it off. Now, one of the, actually, Nicola Rose, who I follow, she likes to rub the powders into her hand to get it evenly on the brush so that it's just a really light application. And then, I think I didn't do enough here. There we go. So, putting it in there and then just patting that. To help just keep that area as potentially crease-free as possible. Again, I have mature eyes, so that doesn't always work. I have lots of fine lines and wrinkles. So let's just get that patted in. And there's my under eyes. I liked how soft that brush was. That was really nice. All these brushes have been amazing so far. Okay, so I think I am going to finish up the eyes and then we'll move into the lipstick choices that I have. I have the new lip pencil. So I'm going to take the, I'm going to take the smudger brush. I'm going to take the smudger brush that we use to put in our, put in the arch of our brow. And I'm going to take this and I think I'm going to use this dark brown color to kind of, actually I'm going to use the Stormy Skies, which is this one. And I'm going to use that as a liner and try to wing it out. I'm not super good at wings, so we'll see how that goes. And then I'll probably go back into Steal My Thunder or CC to run underneath my lash line. So I think I'm going to do this. So I'm just going to tap that, so you can see I got it on the brush there. Tap it off and I'm going to use that kind of as my liner. With this smudger brush, just kind of tap that in so that I've got some sort of line around my lashes. And then kind of pull that out. Now this actually has some glitter in it, which is interesting, but it just gives a little more to the eyelash line, especially since I have lash extensions. So you can see how that just added. I'm going to put just a little bit under here to kind of tie it together. Run that a little bit in so you can see. So take that. Do the same over here. And with mature eyes, really, you're just, especially with me, I'm just trying to give a lift because I have kind of down-turned eyes. And so angling it up a little bit gives me a little more illusion of a lift with my eyes. And I'm gonna bring that down here. I probably still need a little teeny bit more on this lash line. A little bit more over here too. So I'm gonna come back in with the brush I use for blending and just kind of make the edges kind of blend together here. And then I'm gonna go in with that same smudger brush. I'm gonna use my switch to get the color off. And then we're gonna go in with, I think we're gonna go in with the crease color, which was Steal My Thunder. And just run that along the rest of the lash line. Do you ever just open your mouth when you're working on your bottom lashes? I know a lot of times I open my mouth when before I have my lash extensions on when I'm doing my mascara. Do you guys do that too? I don't know. I seem to like always open my mouth when I do things like that. Okay, so then I'm going to clean off this smudger brush again, and I am going to use the same color we used up top for the inner corner, which I believe was, oh gosh, so sucks to be old, a Droplets. I'm just going to use a touch of that in my inner corner just to brighten that area up. Run that a little bit into my lash line. Okay, so I think we're done there. Now let's use a little bit of mascara on the bottom lash. So I don't have many mascaras because I've had lash extensions for quite some time, but one of the ones I do have is the Lash Princess by Essence that I like to use on my bottom lashes. I like the wand, how it's a little thinner, and I can use that to really get in and put my lashes on with not interfering too much with my lash extensions on the bottom lash line. Oops, got a little bit heavy there. I'll have to clean that up when it dries. But this just gives me a nice lash. You can tell I'm a little out of practice with this. Let's get that, wait till that dries up a little bit. Okay, so we're putting this on the bottom lash. Oh, try not to open my mouth too much. It's just such habit to open my mouth when I'm putting lashes on, when I'm putting mascara on. Isn't that funny? Do you find that you do that? Okay. So I have my bottom lashes on, so let's just take a look. Looks pretty good. Now let's move on to the lips. And just make sure I get any makeup I have on there. Okay, so I picked up a e.l.f. new liner. I believe these are like $2, like even if they're $4. This is their new wood pencil that they released, and they're called the Cream Glide Lip Liner, and this is in the color Truth or Bear. It is a peachy pink. And then I have the e.l.f. O Face. I believe these are their satin lip, and this is in the color Dirty Talk. So this is the color. And let's open up the lip liner. So because I have a lot of wrinkles around my lips, I like wood pencil because it tends to not allow the lipstick to creep out of my lines. I like something a little firmer. So we're going to go ahead and put this on. I got this color because I thought, you know, this is good for a new neutral lip. I'm definitely love to wear bolder colors. And I wanted to give this a try and see. Probably should have just gotten their brightest red color. This is a really pretty peachy pink nude liner. See, I got it on top lip. And let's just go ahead and line on the... It's very smooth. I like that it's not like pulling on my lips at all. It runs very smooth. I'm just gonna try to shade this in a little bit just to give it some dimension as I draw on my tooth. It's harder to do this like you're talking. And I have very, very dry lips. That's one of the reasons I really like the, that's pretty. That's the reason I like the, these e.l.f. lipsticks. They're very creamy. They go on nice. I have probably, I think, 9 of the colors that they have. I like a bullet lipstick. I do like liquid lips. I like lots of lipsticks, lots of different types of lips, but we're gonna go for this neutral one today, and this again is in the color Dirty Talk. And they're very pigmented. That just feels so nice. So I think that we covered everything. I will show you the completed look with my hair done and be dressed for the day, so I'll be right back. So let's talk about the new products. So the e.l.f. Hydro CC Foundation. It's looking pretty nice. I think I'm gonna try to use a sponge with it and see how it looks. But so far it feels nice on the face. Again, I will leave in a pinned comment the wear time on it. I will wear it the rest of the day and let you know how it wears. The blush is still stunning. I love that color. Love it. And that was the Berry Well color. And again, you saw, you need to use the teeniest dab, and it covered both cheeks. So I'm sure this coming in hot, this will be a great spring and summer color, but this is just stunning. So I'm super excited to continue to use these. The only other, the shadow stick, oh, kind of a fail for me. Yeah, a little disappointed with this, but I may try to see if I can use it again and see if I get a different result. But so far this would be a no-go for me. And then the last one is the lip pencil. And I actually think that I might order this in a few colors. This actually was a Cream Glide on lip liner. I like the wood pencil. I like that it's firm enough that my lipsticks or any type will go out of my lip lines for feathering. The great test will be with a red lip to see how that holds up, but I'm very pleased so far with the lip liner. So those were the new products. Oh, and of course, my Nikki LaRose brushes. Yes, yes, and yes, and they are definitely an investment. But if you're a makeup girly and you like to do your makeup, amazing quality brushes help make that happen. And these brushes so far after one use were amazing. And I didn't even touch two of the brushes yet. So I just used these 5 brushes to put on my entire face. So great multi-use brushes. So super excited about that Christmas gift. So remember that you get to choose every day to dress with purpose. All right, here is the completed look.